What's up, everybody? I know you're excited as I am. I seen your Facebook comments. The next artist that I'm about to present to you, she came on the scene with the powerhouse hit Friend of Mine. She came back, the only person who could come back and make a classic again with As We Lay. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the phenomenal, the beautiful, powerhouse songstress, Miss Kelly Price. How you doing?
Hi.
You all right?
I'm blushing. I'm good.
That was a phenomenal show you did.
Thank you.
That was a phenomenal show.
Thank you. We fresh off the stage. I'm still sweaty and stuff, but my
And you
adrenaline
rocked
going.
the house. You
Thank
rocked the
you.
house, especially with the two when you split everybody up. When you did the remix of Friend of Mine,
Yes.
had one audience be
Ronald Isley.
Ronald Isley
Yep.
and R. Kelly.
Yes.
And do you do that every show?
I do. I highlight the audience during that part of the show because everybody loved the song so much. And everybody, if they don't know anything else, they know the phone call.
Yeah.
So we all get to do it together.
That was my favorite part of
Yes.
the song too.
Yes.
I cannot
Absolutely.
lie. I cannot
Thank
lie.
you. Thank you.
So, you talked about debut Friend of Mine.
yes.
Who were you then? Like, you were saying you wrote for R. Kelly.
Yes. In 1997,
Ron
I was a background singer, both live and in the studio. I worked with George Michael first, then Mariah Carey. By 1997, I was writing for everybody at Bad Boy, 112, Faith Evans, Total, everybody you can think of. In 97, I was the featured vocalist on the summer hit, the hit of the year, if you ask me, More Money, More Problems with the Notorious B.I.G.
Right.
And I'd written for Ronald Isley as a result of working in the studio with Puff Daddy. He was coming in to work with him, and Puffy said to me, you got to work with him because he's a singer and I don't sing, so I got to have a singer in the room with him. Okay. And that's how I met Ronald Isley. And he asked me to go on the road with him after meeting me in the studio, and I ended up on the road with him for 9 months. And he introduced me after the first night, the second night, as his artist, which was a shock to me because we had not had that discussion.
Right.
But I guess he was speaking it into existence, and every night thereafter for 9 months straight, he told every audience that we played to that I was his artist, and he pursued me very hard, and I resisted a little, but ultimately I gave in, and that's who I was in 1997.
So why did you resist?
I was a triple scale background singer, so I could kind of go in when people called me to do backgrounds and command the dollar that I wanted above what union scale was. Then there was the whole image thing. I was too dark skinned, I was too heavy, and literally I was told that people would love my voice, but they wouldn't like the way I looked. And some people wouldn't even feel as if they liked my voice because back then, we were bouncing to Aaliyah and that kind of thing, and it was a lighter sound. What Friend of Mine did was it reintroduced, because it wasn't strange because we had it with Aretha, we had it with Patti, we had it with Gladys Knight, but it reintroduced the full-bodied voice as well as the full body. And we went with a marketing plan that introduced the music without the image. Some people thought we did it because we were afraid, but we actually did it to prove that people would go for the music and wouldn't care what I looked like. And we won.
You did. You really did. And everybody has loved you. I know we love you. I love you
God is good.
ever since. Yes, God is good all the
Yes,
time.
yes. I
So,
appreciate it.
talking about God is good, you were raised in the church.
Yes.
A very strict upcoming.
Everybody in the family is some kind of preacher, and everybody is musical, and we weren't even allowed to listen to music that was not gospel
Right.
in the house.
Right.
And I used to get in trouble because my mother would catch me listening to it. Like, people don't understand that back then it was acceptable to beat your kids. I called a beating to the backside, but I knew everything because I risked getting the whooping.
I'm glad you did.
I did. I really did.
I'm glad you did. So, talking about that, what was the conversation when that debut album came with your family? What was that conversation like? Let us know.
My grandfather, I think, was a little disappointed. I know was a lot disappointed. I had one incident that actually kind of convinced him that although he didn't understand it, that he couldn't question that, I guess God was sending me
Right.
a different route than he sent him to get a message out.
Right.
So I happened to turn the television on, and it landed on a channel where there was a special that was airing the Puff Daddy No Way Out tour. I was on that tour. I was featured on that tour, and the scene that they showed when he turned the television on was Puffy asking me to pray over the entire crew before we went on the stage. And to me, you can't argue a moment like that. Saturday night, my grandfather never watches TV on a Saturday night because he's studying for Sunday.
Right.
He so happens to turn the television on, and that's what the television lands on.
Right.
I didn't know he saw it.
Wow.
When I came back home and went to church, he said it over the pulpit,
Wow.
and it was all tears and everything.
All right, so your upbringing, you could only wear pants, you couldn't wear jewelry, no makeup.
No.
Has that changed, or
Clearly. Hello.
So I mean,
I was always the one that if you couldn't explain it to me to where it made sense,
Right.
that I would question it. I still talk about the Lord in my pants with my nail polish and my lipstick and all my makeup and my shaved side of the head and just,
beautiful, might I add,
Thank
beautiful,
you.
beautiful. Okay, so what would you give that upcoming artist, that singer? What advice would you give them?
Sing.
That's watching this.
Sing. Don't compromise. Sing. Because music does this. It's ebb and flow, it's high tide, it's low tide. But when the fad is over, when this new wave craze is done, it always comes back to lyric and melody. And if you can get on a stage and sing songs that the audience can sing along with you and they're memorable,
Right.
you will always have a job. I didn't put out a record for 8 years. If you keep doing what you know to do, that it works. We came back 8 years later and garnered 4 Grammy nominations from an independent project. Though people might not feel like I'm the biggest artist in the world, I'm big enough for my skin. And I still have an audience that appreciates what I do.
All right, so on Facebook, Kelly Kell writes, when are you coming out with another album, and is it going to be a gospel or R&B album?
I'm in the process of recording right now. I'm really excited about some collaborations that I've been discussing with some incredible singers, both male and female. So I think what I'm going to do is release back-to-back another Kelly solo project, but I think I'm going to put out an album of collaborations as well.
And I know it's probably a touchy subject, but the best live performance that I've seen you do was As We Lay, and then Gerald Levert, who I know is a dear friend of yours.
Yeah. Do you know that was the very first BET Awards?
Right,
If
right.
you think about it, we performed together, and
it. I loved
Gerald
it.
embarrassed the living boo-boo out of me because I was on the stage and I was singing, and he said, "You're not gonna get up here and rip me to shreds and make me look bad, screaming all over the place. I'll hit the floor before I let you do that." So if you remember,
He hit the
he
floor.
slid across the floor and grabbed me.
Right.
He put his head in.
Right,
yeah, okay.
right.
Mrs. Levert watched that night, and I spoke to her afterwards. She said to me, "You sang so hard, you remind me of my son." Because anybody that knows Gerald knows that he went hard every time he hit the stage. She said it was almost like I could see him standing next to you, screaming at you, telling you, "You better sing, you better sing," and that was him.
Can we get one more
Yes,
question
of
from
course.
Facebook? Vernon Cook,
Yes.
who's my father, by the way.
Hey, Mr. Cook, Dad.
He asks, what do you believe are the challenges now and in the future for recording sales and downloads? And what other interests besides music in the business that you feel are a means of support for you?
I encourage artists to write because it's very rare that an artist will ever see a dime of royalty from record sales anymore. Ever, 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 ever. A lot of them have never seen them anyway. So their way to earn any type of an income is from the publishing income and the mechanical royalty, but that also comes from sales as well. And you perform live and you can get in front of an audience and do like you did on the record, then, I would think that people will want to come see you because it's the moment. You remember that forever. I consider myself a writer first, and people know me more so for singing, but I really, really took off in this business as a writer, even though people saw me as a background singer.
Right.
And I write everything. I write books, I write scripts, I write plays. And I moved to the West Coast a couple of years ago because that's what I'm pursuing now. Music I can do in my sleep, seriously. And I feel like it'll always be a part of everything that I do. That's my future, to continue to write, to score, all of that.
Well, whatever you do, I know I will support you 100%, 200%, because I love you. I love you, and don't change. Don't change. So that's our interview with Miss Kelly Price. For all her latest and greatest at kellyprice.com. She is also on Twitter. Do you actually tweet?
I do.
Okay. She is also on Twitter, Kelly for Real, number 4 Real, and she's also on Facebook. So after liking my page, go and like her page,
Yes.
and I have the link on my page, and it's Kelly Price Fans.
Yes.
It's just I'm in awe. I'm in awe, everybody. I'm in awe. But thank you very much.